So where are we right now legally? Let's go to Brian Silber, an election law attorney, joins us via Skype. Brian, thank you for taking the time. If you don't mind, I want to go actually backwards. I want to go to the Supreme Court and what it weighs and when it would potentially weigh it. I had the feeling that the Supreme Court would prefer all other options, other lower courts, settlements be arranged long before it gets to them, long before it becomes even necessary to ask them. What do you think?
Well, of course, it has to meander its way through the courts. You know, we have a very established legal system in this country. You first have to go to the trial level with your issues. For example, the president was successful in getting his temporary restraining order so that Pam Bondi and the other people could view the counting. OK, there's going to be an appeal. It's going to go to the appellate court. That ruling will then be appealed further, and that's when the Supremes will get it. But honestly, I just don't see where the end is here. You know, we got to see where the dust settles. Everybody should have a fair chance to participate, observe the process. That is standard across this country. I can tell you here in Broward County, when I've done recounts myself for candidates, the way they have it set up there, it's a giant floor-to-ceiling glass partition that goes wall to wall. It almost looks like a Krispy Kreme with the machines on the other side, and it's open for everybody to watch. So I totally don't get it. But, you know, to answer your question, it's got to meander through the courts. And my God, I hope that they just do something about this and overhaul the system. You know, we're America. You know, we put a man on the moon. We have companies like Apple. We have other great achievements. Why can't we figure out these elections? We need to be the gold standard and show everyone else how it's done. And that's just not happening right now.
You might have a good idea if Apple would handle this. There'd be an app for that, and we'd have figured it out. But you know, Brian, it's interesting too. You know, lawyers in courts cannot, you know, overrule or complicate the will of the people. What's confusing here in this counting process is how routinely we discover that sometimes we don't know the will of the people, or the ballots are confusing, or the postmark is not readily available. Now, when there are blowouts, you know, that doesn't even come up. But it's a reminder once again that these are far more common, and in closer races, as are increasingly all of these remaining battlegrounds, it makes a huge difference here. And it could explain why protests develop across the country. We're seeing one right now in Philadelphia, both sides represented, that the other side is sort of screwing them. And I'm just wondering how we resolve this, because the longer these counts go on, the more this heats up. So what is paramount now in the counting process, especially for those watching it closely?
Well, if I was in charge, I would, number one, say transparency. The first thing and the most important thing is the public, the candidates, and the world have to have faith in the system. If we don't have faith in the system, there's no system. People won't abide by it. They won't respect it. They won't follow it. They'll disregard it. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is process. It has to be fair. We have to make sure the law is followed. So, for instance, when a party has the right to be present and simply watch and observe, you know, they should be allowed to do that. There shouldn't be funny things about, oh, we're going to move the machines, or we're going to have this partition. To me, that's outrageous. And ultimately, the main thing is they got to show leadership, and they got to get the job done. They got to fight through this, count all those votes, and make sure it's fair for everybody. That's how I would handle it.
Not bad for a lawyer, young man. Thank you very much. And you're right
Thank you, Neil.
On all counts. Brian Silber, thank you very much, election law attorney.